Okay, folks, so before we start part 2 of this, let's go back to algebra for a second and just solve this equation. 49 equals 41 minus 40x. So we have all our x's on one side. I need to get rid of this 41 by subtracting 41 from both sides. And notice we're going to get an 8. And now I simply just divide by negative 40. Notice they cross out, and when I take out an 8, I get a negative 1/5. Everybody good? Great. So I want you to remember these numbers because we're going to see them again very shortly. So on our next page, this was the side that we found, and it's great because we can immediately punch it right into the calculator. So we come down to here to this problem, and if you notice, this is, as you can see, this is side, side, side. We have all three sides. Whenever you have side, side, you must use LOC, law of cosines. And when you use law of cosines, you must go after the largest angle first. Well, we know that the largest angle would be across from the longest side. So we're going to go after angle B. And since it's angle B, this here would be little b. And that's, let me write down the equation first. B squared equals a squared plus c squared minus twice ac cosine of angle B. So let's plug in these numbers. We're going to get 7 squared equals 4 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 4 times 5 cosine of angle B. Great. We know 7 squared is 49, and 16 plus 25, that's going to be 41 minus, here's 20 times 2, 40 cosine of B. So if you look at these numbers, this is just like our practice problem, our first grade problem in the beginning of the video. Students tend to subtract these, but guess what? You can't because these are unlike terms. This is like our earlier problem. Let's go back to it. Right there it is. 49 equals 41 minus 40x. These two are unlike terms. So do not subtract these two. They are unlike terms. And for these problems, you have to do all the algebraic work. So we have to so we're going to get rid of that. Let me get rid of this here. Do not subtract these two. They're unlike terms. So we have subtract 41, that's going to give us an 8. Here's and remember, do not forget this negative. That's a common mistake, another common mistake. That's the second common mistake students make. They will forget that negative. So that is a negative 40 cosine of B. Great. So now, if you notice this multiplication here, inverse operation of multiplication is dividing. So I have to divide by negative 40, and I have to divide this side by negative 40. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Notice how they cancel out. Let me scroll down here a little bit. So let me hit this. There we go. So now, look what's left. 8 over negative 40 equals cosine of B. What are we trying to find? We're trying to find an angle. Therefore, we have to arc cosine this number, 8 over negative 40. And you do not have to reduce it. You can if you want. So let me grab my calculator. And I punch it right in. Okay, there's my calculator. Let me make sure I'm on my arrow. Let's get the calculator back. There we go. So I need to arc cosine 8 divided by negative 40. Close it off. And I'm in degree mode, and notice we have angle B is equal to 101.53 degrees. So again, when you do these, I want you to do all the algebraic work. Here's my equation I'm using. We have the longest side by itself, then the other two sides, minus twice, 4 times 5, cosine of B. Again, you guys are going to have a tendency, this is what? 16 and 25 is 41. There's 20 times 2 is 40. You guys are going to have a tendency to subtract those two. Please do not subtract those two. Another tendency you're going to do is you're going to forget this negative right here. There it is. There you go. Do not forget that negative. Divide by negative 40, and notice we need to arc cosine 8 over negative 40, and notice we get this angle of 101.53. There you go, folks. Hope you like it.